Hello, my name is Rupert George. I worked as a dental hygienist assistant. I'm posting here to tell anyone, about something crazy that happened to me today. So it was an ordinary Thursday afternoon. I was in the middle of telling a lady, who was probably a single mother by the looks of it, that her child's recent tooth filling would cost around $12,000. The color had barely drained from her face when my boss, Lenty's Frentons, called out to me from his office, "Rupert, come into my office." It was an opportune time for him to call me back. I was in the middle of ruining a family's financial health and didn't want to be interrupted, but when the boss calls you, you must go. I turned to the lady. "I'm sorry, ma'am. My boss wants to speak to me, so I'm leaving now. I'll just charge your credit card the full amount later, MK." She began to protest, but I left before I could hear it. Lenty's Frentis was a very old geriatric. His eyes were a pale blue, and he had very visible cataracts. What was left of his hair clung desperately to the sides of his head like wet toilet paper. "I called you in here to tell you something important, Rupert," Lenty said with his eye twitching. "Of course, sir. What is it?" Lenty's eyes grew wide. "You're the first employee I've had who's lasted more than 2 weeks, my boy. Because of that, I feel like I can trust you with my biggest secret." I was a little confused by that. "What are you talking about, sir?" Lenty stepped closer. "I am a vampire. But a different kind from what you might think. Instead of drinking blood, I magically subsist off of Reddit karma." I gasped. "You're a monster." Lenty's looked angry. "And why is that?" "You're a Redditor. They are the worst," I answered. Lenty's looked angry. "So you don't accept me for who I am?" "No," I said flatly. "Furthermore, I think you should die." I reached into my waistband and pulled out my .44 Magnum and trained it on Lenty's. Lenty's looked utterly terrified. Like a deer in headlights or some other overused metaphor. I pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. Then I remembered, I forgot to load the gun before I came into work today. Lenty's regained his composure. "You stupid fool," he laughed. "You didn't load your gun." He then opened his mouth unnaturally wide, revealing teeth so long they looked unnatural. He then quickly bit off both my arms. "Ouch," I said. Then I karate chopped Lenty's head off using my tone calves. His body fell to the floor, the head landing a couple of yards away. Seeing that my boss was now dead and that I was probably fired or something, I decided to leave. After walking past the same lady from earlier, who looked horrified for some reason, I got in my car and drove home. I decided to type this story out and post it here because I find the situation amusing. Good thing I finished typing this out because I think I'm about to pass out from blood.